Hello, everyone. Welcome to CyberConnect. We have great panelists today, and we have rising stars. So I would like to ask the first question to begin with. Could you introduce yourself and share where you are in your cybersecurity journey, whether you're currently studying, just started your first job, or transitioning from other fields?
Yeah, so hey, good afternoon. I'm Eduardo Mondragon, so I'm over in the Gainesville, Florida region. I would say, in the junior role, basically transitioning from IT analyst into a more cybersecurity focused. And the pretty big breakthrough is that we get to work remote, so that's a plus.
Hi, I have recently transitioned from the sim engineering from the sim engineering to cybersecurity architect, and so working on threat modeling and other applications.
Hi, my name is Vincent Davis. I'm currently working in cybersecurity sales, so not exactly cybersecurity quite yet, but I'm thinking about transitioning over. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Well, welcome everybody. And for those who don't know me, I'm Philippa Burgess, and my co-host here, organizer Francesca Sala. My question to you guys is, what's the most surprising thing you've discovered about cybersecurity that you didn't expect when you started?
Right. So for me, I think basically kind of growing up, always being around technology and love for computers, I always thought it would be a super technical role where there's keywords and buzzwords and it's all magic and it's all behind the scenes items that I'd never be able to understand or, I guess, do in my day to day. But now, right, transitioning from IT into a more cybersecurity oriented role, there's a lot more personal aspects, right? We got to deal with phishing. We got to deal with kind of training and helping the company understand social engineering attacks alongside the more technical pen testing, administration, and I guess like bugs in the code, right? That lead to security vulnerabilities. So definitely for me, it's going to be the blend between personal and technical.
For me, after moving to cybersecurity, I came to know a lot of aspects from the security point of view, like what this IoT things are, and how you can secure your Wi-Fi and the passwords. What are the criteria for more secure password and other different types of encryptions. So getting more and more knowledge on the cybersecurity from the moving from the technical from the developer field.
Yeah, what surprised me, similar to Eduardo's point, surprised me most was how much cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls and malware and code like I expect it to be. One of the biggest challenges that I feel that companies face is insider threat. Whether that's malicious insider or someone just clicking on a free Amazon gift card. We all know that's a scam, but people still click on it, right? Um, it just really opened my eyes to how human behavior plays such a big role in security.
Amazing, thank you. Can you tell us about a challenge or obstacle that almost discouraged you and what helped you keep going?
Oh my, there's plenty of examples here, but I'll have to pick. When I was first put on the team, one of my roles was implementing firewalls for EC2 on AWS. And so, right, you can look up documentation and you can read and watch videos and you can set up your demo account. But when it's all said and done, I'm moving from staging to production, and I push the just launch button and everything is nice and dandy. And we're getting alerts from Vanta saying we have public facing SSH connection. So again, right, all of this, I now know exactly what I did wrong, but back then it was, I'm the guy in charge. I don't have any cloud experience just yet. And I've got 2 DevOps engineers just kind of watching over my shoulder. And it was scary, right? We have these senior roles, just no one's helping me. No one's like watching my back as they're supposed to. And they're just letting me sink right there live. And I mean, at that point, right, it was just kind of like, hey, this is it, while giving it to my boss, handing it off, but then also having to monitor it. And at that point, I was basically playing whack-a-mole, right? As rogue IPs were connecting, I had to manually block them until I was able to create a filter list. And now, right, we have host files that you're just able to upload and have that taken care of for you. So, right, one of the now very easy, my day-to-day roles is that was my hardest task.
Yeah, for me, being sim engineering and working on the different monitoring tools, when we were migrating into cloud, my role was to make sure we have the backup data available. And so there was during the writing the code and testing, um, by mistake from my team, we missed um, the the name of the bucket and or the logic, and after that it broke in UAT the code, and that was a difficult time. We were working like 16 hours to fix that, and finally we were able to move into the production and everything was up and running, but that was little challenging. So yeah, that's what I have faced on.
Yeah, early on, I felt overwhelmed by how massive cybersecurity is. It's easy to think I need to know everything at once, every acronym, every threat, every tool. And that almost discouraged me, but I realized cybersecurity is just a team sport, and I don't have to know it all by day one. I just have to stay curious.
Thank you so much. We have our first audience questions, and those are, the first one is, what are some things shaping the current cybersecurity field that we need to learn to get into the field? Companies are rolling out AI agents like AI SOC analysts, etc. What should we do to adapt?
Oh, sweet. Okay. So again, right, more or less in the junior side of this role right now. So I do worry about kind of what the AI takeover is going to look like, or what part of my job is going to be automated. So my advice and kind of what I've seen in the field is, the more client facing, or say, I guess if you're kind of in an IT type of role, the more you interact with your colleagues, the more you interact with customers, the harder it is for you to be replaced. And in my professional opinion, I believe the best way into cyber right now, and up for debate, and I'm more than happy to hear the other side, but I believe it's going to be through education, right? We have KnowBe4 is leading edge on kind of what they deem as like, it's the standard for phishing training, right? But I found most of my success comes from the onboarding calls, where I get to interact one-on-one with who's being onboarded. Hey, this is kind of what our phishing program looks like. These are great examples of what not to do. Here's a Slack channel whenever you get worried. And as long as you are a face that is in front of someone solving a problem, and your face is known to solve that problem, I think that's where I don't know how I can take over that. It's not personable, and it's not, I guess, easy to share examples with. So hope that answers that question.
I think we can take that question around. Do you?
Yeah. Um, I would say like your basic cybersecurity knowledge. That's the first criteria. You should know the basics of what cybersecurity does and the basic concepts around that. Like you can do that from Security Plus or Network Plus. Along with that, when you talk about AI, you can there is a WASP top 10 vulnerabilities, and nowadays you can also find a WASP top 10 vulnerabilities for AI as well. You can go through that to know more about security. That would be a good starting point for AI. Yeah, that's what I can say for your question.
Yeah, similar to her point, I'm going to say that, basic knowledge of cybersecurity, what it does, and insider threats, good starting point. And I believe that, second question, I believe that having agentic AI that acts as an assistant would be most beneficial. It's also important to know that AI, in my opinion, anyway, won't replace jobs. It'll just make people more efficient at solving certain problems.
Very good. I love that. And so I want to bring into our next question here is Eduardo, and this is actually also, I'm going to take this for everybody, but we'll start with Eduardo. You mentioned you're working remote. Was it challenging to secure a remote role, or was that option already on the table? And most roles are either 100% office or hybrid. Can you all speak to kind of our changing working environments?
Yeah, happy to touch on this. So, I was very fortunate that the role I had was already starting as remote. But my previous role, it was all in office. It required a lot of traveling, right, visiting different sites throughout the state of Florida. So, as I got seniority and as we were able to establish infrastructure, right, we were going from public to private cloud. So, right, getting everything centralized in AWS. Once you kind of have, once let's say like this, if you get into a company early and it's all in person, and as long as you have IT or cybersecurity skills, once the company matures and goes to cloud, I think that's where you have a really good argument to transition to say, hey, everything I do now is all cloud. This is what the company's moving forward, and I see value in me still coming in. But how about I get a couple days over to work from home, right? Start the conversation, start navigating like, hey, what would it look like on management's end if I was at home on Fridays, right? Then you can sell, or at least what I did was monitor my hours, right? We can start off as hands off or hands on as you'd like, sell it to management that they can kind of do whatever they want to keep you under like supervision, and then slowly start asking for more days from working from home. And if you're a part of, let's say, like I was, we had 3 IT specialists, and I was the one that started the, hey, I want to do hybrid. The best thing I think I was able to do was get everyone on board. So all 3 of us were like, hey, we'll be on rotating work from home schedules. And it started, someone did Mondays at home, the other one did Wednesdays, and I was Fridays. And we would rotate. And then ultimately at year 2 was kind of like, hey, productivity is actually pretty high. And then we were like, okay, let's all push for fully work from home remotely. And sure enough, we got it. And then around that point is when I got an offer for my other company, which was fully remote. And I could say, hey, I have experience working remotely. These are the tools we used. Productivity stayed the same. And once you have that first remote role or hybrid type of role, I think you'll have language on your resume that says, I am comfortable and I am succeeding in work from home environments. So, again, I think once you have that language down, it should be easier. Granted, the market is a lot different now, but I'll give the floor now to the next.
For me, I was in a hybrid role, but since I work in a bank mostly they don't give the remote job because of the security, because it's a financial domain and banking. So yeah, so we are moving from hybrid to 100% in office. So there is no scope for the remote as of now.
Yeah, similar to Eduardo's point, getting into a company that's, early startup, and then transitioning into a remote role after that. I agree. That's what pretty much happened with my current role. It started off as a fully in-office role, but then very, you know, there were lots of changes happening in the company, mergers and whatnot. So eventually I got the fully remote um, role, which is pretty nice, I'd say.
Thank you. Our next question would be for the panel. Who are your cybersecurity heroes? What do you admire in the field and wish to emulate?
All right, awesome. So, I'd like to, I guess, shout out Network Chuck on YouTube, and had the pleasure of finally meeting him over at DEF CON. So, while he's not necessarily like cybersecurity, he's more all things computers, but he would be my hero in the sense that he was the one that kind of, I was watching his YouTube videos in high school, how to build a website, get your own domain, put your resume, and kind of build a more technical background for yourself to kind of break into the IT field. So, again, I think my language expresses it well, but I am very fond of the education mindset, and he embodies that. A lot of my technical skills come from his passion, from, hey, this is a cool thing you can do with a home network, to the more technical, these are the shortcuts and certificate routes you need to do if you want to break into the field. So, a lot of it's just his language, the charisma, his care and passion is kind of my spark that started it all. And in the end, I kind of want to emulate that and give back to the community the same way he did to me.
Can I just ask you to repeat the name?
Network Chuck. Let me see.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Um, for me, my cybersecurity hero is the previous organization where I worked, and my manager, previous manager. He has worked in cybersecurity for many many years, and he has very he has a lot of experience and certifications and all those. So he is a kind of a guide mentor to me, and which I consider him as my hero. And uh, whatever suggestions or guidance I need, he's the person, the go-to guy for me.
Yeah, I'd say Steve Wilson. He wrote a book on AI and actually founded the Gen I security project. And he's one of the reasons why I chose to work at my current company. So I'd say Steve Wilson for sure.
Very nice. All right, let's get to your next question. What are some of the skills that recruiters are looking for and expect from a fresh master's graduate with no experience in cybersecurity, and how to prepare ourselves? And of course, you can broaden this question, just in general, but also um, specific to those on the academic track.
No, yeah, that is a very good yet very loaded question here. So, I think the trend I'm seeing is right till oldest time, when the job market starts to slow down, you got to separate yourself, and the easiest way to do that is through a master's degree, which I have also done, just not in the cyber field. So the tricky part now, and I assume it's the reason for the question, is right. You got the degree, but now you're lacking the experience. So, um, unfortunately, kind of talking to our in-house recruiter and talking to third-party recruiters, it seems to be that even now the way of certifications just aren't cutting it. So what do? Don't master's degree isn't doing what it's supposed to, and your certificates are kind of everyone else is doing it. The best way to separate yourself, I believe, is to kind of make like a blog, make a like project showcase. And I'm talking something a little different than like a Git page that has all your projects. Make it again, I think my theme for this panel is emphasis on the personal. If you're able to educate, if you're able to show your skills and have community take from it, you're providing value. And this is at no fault of the recruiters, but what I tend to experience is the recruiters are very separated from the technical. And what I mean by that is you'll say, I'm certified, I'm like, I got my security plus network plus working my CISSP, and they'll be like, these are good things, but they don't know what that means. They're just checking a box. What they will like to hear and what's going to have them talking to whoever has the final say is how well were you able to connect? Were you energetic? Were you happy? Were you enthusiastic to be there? Were you on time? And it's kind of, again, these personal skills that I think are trumping the more technical just because of the saturation of both degree and certification. So your best foot forward is continue what you're doing. I don't know if you completed your master's or not, but if you have the master's, the certification, and you have a small community that you can take ownership of and say you created, along with being able to express your passion and show, hey, I'm not just here for the money. I'm here to add influence and add value to the company is your best shot.
I think Eduardo has covered all the whatever I was also going to. I kind of 100% agree with you. So I would say same. This is the steps to move forward.
I have not obtained my master's degree, so this question doesn't apply to me, but it seems like Eduardo knows what he's talking about, so listen to him.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the next question. Francesca, want to lead us on this one?
What are the best places to volunteer and showcase your cybersecurity skills or learn them, etc.? What are organizations you would recommend?
Okay, so I'll start with kind of how I started, and then I'll go kind of what I wish I did. So mine was very informal. I would say the best place to volunteer, I volunteered over at in my past high school. I reached out and I said, hey, I'm familiar with technology. If you ever need a volunteer or someone to assist, I got these days open. And I was basically kind of like the network assistant, right, to our main IT staff. So very low risk environment. A lot of it was just like flashing computers, updating them, fixing projectors, and then ultimately you would get stuff like password resets, firewalls, et cetera, et cetera. So volunteering right at a church, at a school, if you guys have like a local gym or anything of that nature, definitely find out, hey, who's running this, and just offer your services. Granted, if you're working or have a family, volunteering doesn't seem that appealing, but this is where, again, you have to provide that value. There will be that moment of sacrifice of, hey, I'm going to give, and what I'm going to get in return is experience. And the next part is showcase your cyber skills. So here, I would say capture the flags. If you can go to like in-person cybersecurity events, the only ones I've really done have been the big name DEF CON, right? And even then, I would say I've been seeing a lot of people like showcasing and saying I got ranked third in this local hackathon or whatever, which I'm sure if you know the event, it looks good. But I'm assuming if you're asking for showcasing your security skills, this is going towards like being noticed by recruiters and job opportunities. So in that case, I would say something more along the lines of like Hack the Box, where you have an online leaderboard, online ranking, and you're able to show progress. I think you'll get more value there. So I said a lot here. So get your experience volunteering at a local community center. Your school is a great one to reach out to because you already have rapport. If you have like a church or a local gym group, something of that sort, again, you already know the community, great way to get in. And for security skills, something where you have online tracking like Hack the Box.
Yeah, there are, you can find you any local events around you. If there is any local events, or like meetup, you can also check meetup or something. To You can um, join there as a listener, and any participate in those events. That would be helpful, along with whatever Eduardo mentioned, that you can volunteer into the school and church for um, to showcase your cybersecurity skills. And along with that, socializing, once you go into those events in your local events, that will be helping to socialize and get more contacts, and they can also assist you moving forward into your cybersecurity career.
Yeah, I agree with Eduardo again here. In essence, it's all about networking. You start small, then you eventually get big.
Okay, we have another question. Would you recommend master's program for cybersecurity, or would it be computer science? What are some good programs would you recommend for cybersecurity or emphasis in cybersecurity?
Sweet. So you guys are asking all the questions I know. Awesome. So again, as a master's graduate, unfortunately, actually, it goes both ways. So I have an economics background. And so I would say through masters and certificates, I'm able to sell myself now as a more cybersecurity oriented professional. However, the neat thing is, I don't think you need a degree that says computer science or cybersecurity. So again, for me, it says economics, but there is a lot of coding in there. And again, once I got that first IT role, I'm able to kind of shift the narrative per se. So what I would recommend is get a technical degree. Unfortunately, the memes like that are going around is comp sci, the new history degree. I don't think that's entirely true, but don't limit yourself to just comp sci, right? It's trendy. It's what a lot of people have, and a lot of people got into the industry with comp sci. But I think you'll notice, and if you ask around, there's a lot of data analysts, there's a lot of finance people, anything technical with a computer, I think you can leverage. And so so that's the fluffy life is sunshine and rainbows part. To be more direct, if you want to enter the cybersecurity field, I think a networking focused degree is going to be the easier way to enter. Data is a little saturated, comp sci is everywhere, software engineering is everywhere. Not a lot of people want to do networking. So Net Plus, absolutely great start. If you do, I think you can do, I'm trying to remember the degree. It's called Computer Informations and Systems. And then there's a master's in networking, which is just a lot of building of models. And again, right, I'm not a networking guy, so pardon the lingo here, but all your protocols and your ports and just kind of your basic how companies build infrastructure and secure them. So to wrap it up, you don't need a technical degree to get into cybersecurity. If you wanted a degree just to get in, your best option, in my opinion, would be anything cloud or network related.
Um, I have done masters in computer science, so but yeah, that's how I got into this job, and later. But as Eduardo mentioned, when you do masters in computer science, it's not just the cybersecurity. You can see that as one subject, but it's overall like different subjects, different topics. Software programming and all those are covered in computer science. So you, if you want, you can go to master programs for cybersecurity. Or, but I have seen in my organization many cybersecurity folks from different doing coming from having the master's degree from different fields. So yes, you need to have those knowledge, and he, as he mentioned, networking or cloud or any um, security related uh, knowledge. If you have, that would count as well. So it's not like master's computer science. And yes, that's correct. In networking, we don't see many folks in networking. So that's the area where you can, get entry into.
Um, Again, can't answer this question, but I feel like I was also the one asking this question because I mentioned earlier I was thinking about transitioning into cybersecurity, and gotta say I appreciate your guys' answers that helped me kind of streamline my thoughts a little bit better there. So thank you.
Okay, let's bring it to the next question here, which is for the panel. Along with the typical cyber practice boxes and range, have you tried using any sort of real-life cyber application events such as Trace Labs, OSINT, Capture the Flags, CTS?
Sweet. So not so much in Trace Labs or OSNet. Again, capture the flag for me is what I think really rounded out my skill set, right? Because there's just too much to do. You in one event, you're like breaking into an Android APK, right? The application file to extract like a code, and that's going to be your flag. Versus other times, you're being asked to do like small SQL injection or uh, just read raw HTML from a website and extract whatever flag you're getting there. So capture the flag, again, soft spot for me. There's a lot. It rounds you out really well. You're not going to be a master at hacking, but you're going to understand the different types of attacks, methods, and basically what is hackable, right? I didn't know what application I needed to open an APK versus, say, like an iPhone app. I didn't know that Chrome was way better for HTML editing versus like Firefox. And now, right, you can just use, well, now that I know how to bash script and program a little, right, you have your different viewers. And then ultimately, capture the flag is what made me proficient in Linux, right? That's where you have your red team tools, right? I started with Kali, and that's just been my bread and butter. And of course, just flying through directories. Once you learn how to use terminal and bash a little, you'll realize, oh, this is kind of how I talk to everything in computers. So my vote, get in for capture the flags, and there's plenty of events. And like I said earlier, online capture the flags is where you get your name on the board. So I would focus on this.
For me, I have not used all this because I am specifically as a cybersecurity architect. So I work on looking for the architectures and security gaps there. So yeah, I haven't used all this application.
I also haven't used all of these applications except for Capture the Flag. I've actually used that once or twice. Um, and it really helps you kind of learn the product without having to sit in on like a demonstration. It's like uh, uh, trial and error, so to speak. You'll figure it out as you go. So that's what I like about Capture the Flags.
All right, great. Let's the next question here. And I wanted to ask, how how's your background, school, other job, or even a hobby, uh, kind of unexpectedly helped you in cybersecurity?
So hopefully I don't talk too long on this one, but growing up, I liked computers. I wasn't a hacker or anything, but that was the earlier part of the internet days. So to date myself, I'm 29 years old. So this was when like DDoSing was new and funny, right? Turning off the Pizza Hut website from like across the state or whatever. So not what I would say I would recommend doing, but it was that young curiosity of like, this is a new technology. A lot of people are doing these crazy stuff that sounds like magic to me. I want to cast some spells or something cheesy like that. So now as I'm a little more matured and up to less nefarious activities, I mean, it's still passion for me. I love reading about what the latest AI models can do. I love seeing innovations from like even just network architecture, the most efficient ways to set up a cloud environment. So you definitely want to have some form of curiosity, but like, for example, I liked video games. I liked like volleyball, skating, and I mean, none of that really translates to cybersecurity. I was on the computer, but then slowly, right, when it comes to skating, there's like only a couple of really strong vendors in the United States, and they have a really janky website. And all of a sudden, I'm bored during the summer, and I said, "Hey, I can revamp your website for you. Just give me like discounts on a couple skates, and we'll call it a deal." And that's where I start noticing they have outdated extensions, their WordPress is out of date, and there's a couple vulnerabilities. Then I point this out, and they reach back and say, "Hey, you just want to take over it? Do you want to like be in charge of the website security? If we hand you the admin password, you're not going to screw us over." So it's that drive and that gentle peak of curiosity. Like I just wanted a way to get cheaper skates, right? And all of a sudden I'm getting security experience that goes on my resume. So forgot what that last part of your question is, but
Oh, the last part of the question, it was just how things outside just kind of unexpectedly helped you in cybersecurity.
okay.
And I think you've also talked about, just you were talking about before, just like in interviews, those soft skills and personal skills, and how your sense of joy and curiosity really help. So I think that's kind of maybe part of like just your life skills, and also you're talking about your other interests. Kind of maybe there was some surprise benefit to having developed other skills in other areas.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'll hand it over in just a sec. My final point is, and I think this is like the best one, is I think anyone can start a business. I did kind of like computer building for a while, and then like just Facebook Marketplace, business cards. Hey, I'm the computer guy, I guess, right? Just get your name out there, and slowly but surely you'll get, not cybersecurity really, like, hey, build me a computer. Hey, what cell phone should I get? Hey, I'm having Wi-Fi problems. But then your name gets around, and then all of a sudden you're getting small businesses reaching out. So in my case, I just wanted to have a business. I wanted to, have a marketable skill. And like, I have a friend who does, he's a CPA, kind of like freelance tax agent. And even he is getting pretty good referrals into cybersecurity fields because, right, he works with money, he's trusted, he's around PII, personal identifiable information. And again, from taxes, he really likes doing taxes. He's again, CPA, you don't do that if you're not good or like it to some degree. And he's being offered similar roles in the cyberspace just because he's passionate and just because he is considered reliable. So as long as you got passion, you have rapport, and then you have credibility, and then you have security. So just be passionate, start a business.
Sangeeta?
Yeah, I think what Eduardo said is you should have a passion to start anything, learn, and keep on moving. What excited me for the cybersecurity was I was like more of a developer when I joined the organization, and working with some of the cybersecurity teams, like regarding the vulnerability and the risk in the code and encryption and all those, that excited me, like uh, and build curiosity in me, like having more and more knowledge around that, which because of which I moved into cybersecurity. So the main key point is should be curious on what it is and how it's going to secure, and how you can use this cybersecurity or in your life. So that's curiosity. Curiosity is the key.
Yeah, to Sangeeta's point, I agree that Sangeeta's and of course Eduardo's point, I agree that curiosity is key in all things in life, right? You know, I came from a sales and communication background, which of course isn't as technical as what you guys do. I mean, you guys are the real superheroes here, but it's been huge in cybersecurity, right? At the end of the day, you're always translating complex ideas into something people can understand, whether that's an engineer explaining risk to leadership or me having a conversation with any one of you, right? Communication is what bridges that gap. So I believe communication and curiosity are key here.
Amazing. We have another question from the audience. How much does the knowledge of programming languages really contributes to your profile when applying for jobs?
All right. So, two sides to this coin here. There are plenty of technical roles, right? When people think of programming, they think I would associate these to either like pen testing, automation, and to an extent, kind of your general like threat analyst, right? You're going to be building in-house tools to detect threats, but the good news is I would say I'm a lot less programmatically inclined here as my peers, but that doesn't mean it's a weakness. I know. Hold on, let me gather my thoughts here. So, if you want to apply to a more technical role, obviously having Python, Bash, anything that helps with automation is going to be a big plus. If you are delving into red team, I would say the same thing. However, these are your cookie cutter type of jobs. This is what everyone thinks of when they think, I want to be in cybersecurity, I want to be a hacker, I want to have a terminal open and be typing a lot of code. But you guys, or I guess the public then forgets the more business oriented side of cybersecurity. And that would be kind of like the script kiddie, the button pusher, I call them the whack-a-mole roles. So kind of like an issue pops up and you have a tool provided through a vendor, let's say like an antivirus, right? Just general administrative roles, or in this case, let's use like a SOC analyst, for example. It's a lot of policy, it's a lot of writing, it's a lot of review, and a lot of inside knowledge about your business that has nothing to do with coding. So I would say for bare bones, you got to know Bash, you got to know Python, sprinkle in a little bit of Java, and you'll be a qualified candidate in either one of these type of roles. Now, if you want, again, the red hat dream cybersecurity job, you are going to have to have a lot of Git points, have a lot of projects that you're able to share. And at this point, I would say just build apps. So again, this is not my area of expertise, but what I do see is if you're technical, you're going to want to really lean in to your technical side. But again, let's not forget policy, general business skills for SOC analyst role, IT admin, and I guess like a CISO. You're going to need a very strong blend of both coding and internal business knowledge. So.
Yeah, so it depends. It's actually depends on the role that you're picking up, whether you need programming language or not. As Eduardo mentioned, there are different areas in cybersecurity. Like if you're going for the risk or audit or something like that, you don't need the coding that much. But it depends on the SOC analyst or any other red team. Then you need to have those coding skills. But the basic Linux command, like you should know the commands and um, basic programming, like simple programming, that should be sufficient. I know many of my team members who are not into that much coding, and they are in different fields of the cybersecurity. So um, it depends. It's actually depends on the role which you are picking for the cybersecurity, whether it needs or not.
I would say for this question, of course, I don't have the experience, so just listen to these two, Eduardo and Sangeeta. They're the pros here.
Okay, we have another question prepared for you. Community is a big part of cyber. Was there a person, group, or event that gave you a sense of belonging early on?
So I would say, yeah, DEF CON, right? The biggest, flashiest event. It's going to have the most amount of people. And while the first time I went, I felt out of place. I saw all the computers and terminals open, and I saw all the different kind of it's set up that they have villages. So you have like biohacking, car hacking, like voting booth hacking. I would see all this stuff, and it's like, all right, man, I'm way out of my league here. And then they had the smaller stuff, like they had one called like lock picking village, and like that's not hacking by the traditional terms. There's no computer involved, but it was something hands-on that I was able to do. And it's like, okay, I was able to pick a $1 Walmart lock. And then the next thing you know is I go to, there's like satellite hacking or something crazy. And it's just an open computer, one page of just Linux commands. And oh, wow, that was pretty easy. And then sure enough, there's a guy next to you. Maybe he's struggling on that one project you just completed, and sure enough, now you're talking, you go have lunch, and then you figure out, hey, a lot of the people here aren't at this super high level that you originally thought. So the point of that story is, I think, just kind of whatever you can find, go in there. And where I'm from in Gainesville, Florida, we don't really have a hacking scene, just a bunch of college kids. But again, uh, if you like to travel, go find a like cyber event in your state, and don't limit yourself to just be cybersecurity. I know a lot of like contests or like bug bounty communities just disassociate from the name cyber, just to more or less gatekeep the public crowd from entering, because it's becoming oversaturated. But definitely just start looking up like technical events, or you can do like technical network communities or something like that. If you have access to Facebook, again, Facebook events is kind of where all this pops up. But as you meet more people kind of in that space of yours, right, you're going to want to lean towards people of your skill set. And then as you grow, your skills are going to grow. The people that you can connect with are at a higher level. And then sure enough, they go to an event, you get invited, or maybe you're the one that's a little further ahead. You find the event, bring people to you, and build that community that way.
For me, I go. Um, for me, I just whenever I get the chance, I go to the local events which we have in the states. So meet up the folks around different organization, and also there are some organizers, speakers. They share their experience in their domain. So whenever you get a chance, just join any local events if you're not able to travel around another states. That would be helpful.
Yeah, I think networking, what am I saying? I think events are great, but I also think that networking and having a good support system is good too. So on two separate occasions, I had different managers, right, who they guided me through the steep learning curve of cybersecurity, and that made a huge difference for me. Just having someone who believed in me in my corner, right? Because as we all know, cybersecurity can be overwhelming at times, but it's just good to know that you have that kind of support.
Amazing. My last question for the panelists would be, looking forward, what excites you the most about your future in cyber, whether it's the work, the impact, or the possibilities ahead?
Let's see. For me, I think the path I'm going is definitely going to focus more on cloud security. And for me right now, it's still this magic buzzword in the sky that I don't know too much about. But now that AI is also very prominent in kind of any industry we go to, AI pen testing is going to be really cool just because like poisoning the model, like finding data leaks, even in like controlled and isolated private AI instances, like say you host it on like AWS Bedrock or something, people are figuring out way to extrapolate data from closed loops, and it's just like that's crazy. If I can be the one that's on the team to fight off against that, like I think job security will always be there, just because there's always going to be AI. So just keeping my eyes open and trying to catch the next big wave, I guess, and that seems to be cloud and AI security.
Yeah. My focus area is also for the future is cloud and AI. So right now I am also um, focusing more on the what are the threats around the AI once the future is going to um, use more and more AI. So that's my um, future plan right now is same.
Yeah, I agree with both Sangeeta and Eduardo. Um, the future is in cloud security and AI, and that's also going to be my focus area. Right now, it's selling it. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be actually, doing it. But the world is just becoming more and more technologically advanced. So it's just going to happen that AI is just going to keep going up and up, and it's going to be good to know how to defend against bad actors using it.
Are there any last minute resources that you would like to share at this point?
So not official resources, and I kind of thought of this after one of the questions was asked, but going back to communities, one area that I overlooked, and again, it just popped into my head. I completely forgot. I'm part of a buddy's cybersecurity Discord group, and it's one of those things that once you're in, it's just a completely different world. So I would highly recommend try to find an online group. I know I've been saying travel and all this stuff, but it's been a crazy resource. We have different chats and channels for different projects and activities. But I mean, when I was in my data analyst role moving into IT, I just remember referencing a lot of the projects and conversations that were had in there. So, and again, another great way to connect with people from all over the world, find different strengths and weaknesses in your peers, and then you're going to learn a whole bunch more from other people's experiences. So, yeah, do a little community searching, find a little Discord group that's making an app, or they need like impromptu developers for a website, or find a little project to be a part of and see what you can get out of it.
For me, I don't have any. I think I cannot recommend any official resource here. Means I'm not apart from actively meeting to the different people and networking. I'm not that much into other different resources. So I think I will lean onto Eduardo's whatever he mentioned.
Yep, I have absolutely no idea of any official resources, but it but Eduardo seems to know best here. And also, of course, always stay curious. Communication is key, and networking also. Network, network, network. Good luck.
Well, thank you so much for being on that panel. We're now going into the focus session. I hope to welcome you soon in another focus session. So thank you for being part of this. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You guys got
Thank
something out of
you.
this?
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.